Korea started emerging as a single unified state during the 7th century AD. For the next 1,000 years, the Korean peninsula would be ruled by several powerful dynasties, having a culture that is distinctive from that of China or Japan. In 1910, Korea was annexed by Imperial Japan, ending the Koreans' independence as a sovereign nation. Korea would remain a territory of Japan for the next 35 years. In 1945, World War II led to Japan's surrender. Korea was partitioned into two along the 38th parallel, the American-occupied Democratic South and the Soviet-occupied Communist North, the latter ruled by Kim Il-sung, grandfather of the incumbent North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. In the summer of 1950, North Korea invaded South Korea in an effort to reunify the Korean peninsula under communist rule, igniting the Korean War. The North Koreans managed to invade almost all of South Korea, driving back the American forces around the port city of Pusan. But the Americans, led by General Douglas MacArthur, pushed the communist North Koreans back in just several weeks. They managed to drive the North Koreans back across the 38th parallel and then all the way north toward the Chinese border. This turned out to be a huge mistake. China, another communist nation, saw the invasion of the communist North Korea as a threat. China sent hundreds of thousands of soldiers to fight alongside North Korea. This successfully pushed the joint American-South Korean forces back at the 38th parallel. The war continued for another 3 years and caused the deaths of 2 million people. On July 27, 1953, a ceasefire agreement was established. The two countries are divided along the Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, a heavily militarized strip of land that divides Korea in two. Within the DMZ is a joint security area where meetings and negotiations take place. North Korea is a totalitarian dictatorship ruled by its absolute supreme leader, Kim Jong-un. The country is a self-described Juche, self-reliant unitary single-party state, with a cult of personality surrounding Kim Il-sung, the eternal president as the North Koreans will call him. According to several human rights organizations, North Korea has some of the worst human rights of any nation. North Korean defectors who have escaped from North Korea have testified to the existence of prisons and concentration camps. There are an estimated 150,000 to 200,000 inmates and have reported torture, starvation, rape, murder, medical experimentation, forced labor, and forced abortions. Political prisoners and their families are sent to these facilities where they are mistreated and cut off from external communication. The media and press are heavily controlled by the government. The North Korean Constitution provides freedom of speech and freedom of the press. However, the North Korean government contradicts this and prohibits the use of these rights in practice. Only news that favors the government is allowed. Other news may be considered questionable or unfavorable by the government. The media upheld the personality cult of Kim Jong-un, reporting on his regular activities. The main state-run news agency in North Korea is the Korean Central News Agency, KCNA. The English version of the website can be accessed by this link. It mainly features Kim Jong-un's activities. There are other news outlets as well. North Koreans do not have access to the global internet. Few government officials have such access. Rather, North Koreans have access to a state-run intranet called Kwangmyong, which feature more than 1,000 sites, all of which feature state-run news and propaganda. The North Korean Constitution states that freedom of religion is permitted. However, this no longer exists in North Korea, All religious activities are under supervision by the state. According to Westerners, North Koreans are considered irreligious. However, traditional religions such as Buddhism and Confucianism have left a legacy on North Korean spiritual life. Buddhism is actually given limited funding by the government because of the religion's impact to Korean culture. Education is also controlled by the government. Children are taught from kindergarten to love the supreme leader, Kim Jong-un. Children are being taught absurd claims such as the fact that the hamburger was invented by the dear leader Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un's father. Their own education system has anti-American, anti-Japanese, and anti-South Korean tones in them. The North Korean government exercises total control over many aspects of North Korean culture, and this control has been used to instill a personality cult surrounding the eternal president, Kim Il-sung, and to some extent, Kim Jong-il. Music, art, film, and sculpture praises Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. Several places in North Korea are named after Kim Il-sung. Such examples include Kim Il-sung University, Kim Il-sung Stadium, and Kim Il-sung Square. Additionally, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il's birthday are considered national holidays in North Korea. Since the Korean War, North Korean relations between the United States, South Korea, and Japan are continuing to worsen. North Korean-American relations have become quite tense since the beginning of the 21st century. In 2002, George W. Bush labeled North Korea as part of an axis of evil and an outpost of tyranny.
North Korea is a regime arming with missiles and weapons of mass destruction while starving its citizens. States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil, arming to threaten the peace of the world. The United States of America will not permit the world's most dangerous regimes to threaten us with the world's most destructive weapons.
North Korea has maintained close relations with China and Russia. The fall of communism in Eastern Europe in 1989 and the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 caused Russia to stop giving humanitarian aid to North Korea. China still provides substantial aid. North and South Korea are technically still at war, having only signed a ceasefire agreement at the end of the Korean War. Both the North and South are still hoping for eventual reunification. However, progress toward reunification has been dealt with challenges. Perhaps most concerning of all is North Korea's possession of weapons of mass destruction. Intelligence agencies and defense experts agree that North Korea has the capability to deploy nuclear warheads on intermediate-range ballistic missiles which have the potential to wipe out cities in South Korea, Japan, and possibly even the United States. The Central Intelligence Agency has also claimed that North Korea also houses chemical weapons. North Korea has recently conducted tests of these weapons. Just recently, since this video was created, the North Koreans tested a ballistic missile. This is currently a subject of concern to the United States, Japan, and South Korea. So how can we prevent weapons of mass destruction? The United Nations already enforced sanctions against North Korea, which are meant to hinder North Korea's nuclear weapons program. The role of the United Nations is to help prevent weapons of mass destruction. People in the past have been affected by these weapons, and it is up to us to help stop them. Every nation must unite to resolve this issue and help bring peace to the world. Achieving this dream of peace is the ultimate goal.